Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. I am JD, aka He Who Pods. Glasses on today, so also rear view mirror.
And I'm Dash, aka Dash and D. Yeah, let's go.
That's it. No AKAs. Let's get the show started. And speaking of getting the show started, SNL is bringing out all the big hitters for their 50th year
They are.
and 50th season, 50th year, I guess, whatever, same thing. And our boy Chappelle did the opening monologue, which was really like a whole comedy set. They gave him
Yeah.
17 minutes to do whatever he wanted up there.
Yeah. They do.
And our girl GloRilla was the performer of the night. I said, man, they got the top dogs.
They
They
did.
got my dogs, my crew, my dogs. Oh wait, we can't sing that today, right? Nope.
I don't know what we can and cannot sing anymore.
So Chappelle did opening monologue, a 17-minute comedy set. I thought he did a great job. Damn, they're having a good time upstairs. Hopefully that comes out in editing. If not, forgive us. There is a dance party upstairs from Dash location right now.
Yes.
They are moving and grooving up there. Anywho, yeah, so Chappelle did 17 minutes. I thought he did a great job. It was funny. It was satirical. He hit lots of current event stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he knocked it out of the park. I don't have any complaints. I don't have any real feedback. I thought it was great. If you know Chappelle and know how Chappelle has done comedy the last couple years, it was right on par. He did a great job of weaving different things together. Everything from Trump to Trump's first term, Trump's new term, Diddy, the parties, the lube. I mean, he hit everything. The LA fires.
I was just about to say he even found a way to loop in the LA fires.
Right. He said sodomites. Then he said no, just kidding, because West Hollywood is just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I thought it was fitting for the moment. He has a way of engaging the audience and grabbing their attention without being over the top.
Right.
And I always appreciate that about him. He doesn't have to have like the really weird high pitched voice, or he doesn't have to be the comedian who yells when he speaks
Or runs all across the stage.
Runs all across the stage. You know, his style is a lot more subdued. And don't get me wrong, I think that his years in the game are a testament to that. I don't think this version of him was always this version, right? I think that over time he's grown in his craft to where all of that extra stuff, you don't really need it. So I appreciate that about him. I always enjoy that, at least in recent years. I enjoy that about him. So for me, it was good. And that part was really good for me. I was nervous. He's a controversial guy. It's SNL. Just because it comes on at 11 p.m. doesn't mean anything. Like, it's still SNL. It's still on broadcast television. It's still, you still have to play within certain lines. So I was a little nervous.
Because Chappelle will be the one to say the cancelable offense.
Right. And I didn't feel like he went over the line in any way.
No.
I think he stayed right behind it. And I think he knows, right? It's not his first time on SNL. You know, he knows what he's working with. And again, if you have worked on your craft and you have matured in your craft, you don't necessarily need to do that in order to have impact. So I think he I think he did a great job at maintaining that um maintaining those boundaries, but still being funny and still kind of, walking the line a little bit.
Right.
But just enough. So I thought that was good. And I thought GloRilla looked cute.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought she I thought she did great. You know, I've been excited about GloRilla for a while, and
Right.
I always love to see her being out there. People inviting her to do things like this. I think that's amazing.
Right.
She's just so charismatic. I can't, I enjoy watching her. I think she's very entertaining. I think I, like I said, I think she looked adorable. She had on like her pink metallic outfit for two of the songs. And then the other one, what did she do?
Yeah, Glow.
She did Yeah Glow.
She did Let Her Cook.
Let Her Cook. And what you know about that? Is that what it's called?
Good question.
But yeah,
I have an answer. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, she did Let Her Cook. She did Yeah Glow, and she
even
did.
ad-libbed a little bit.
What you know about me?
What you know about me? That's what it is. She even ad-libbed a little bit, changed it to SNL. Some of the words. I thought that was cute. I think she's great. And I'm excited for this trajectory that she's on. You
Right.
know, SNL
She
is a
had the
big
outfit
deal.
change too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, SNL is a big deal, especially for an artist who is new to the game. Getting that
Absolutely.
nod is may not seem like much to some people, but everybody ain't being invited to SNL.
No,
That's
I
just
agree with that. I agree with that.
you know. Um, but yeah, so I thought it was great. I didn't watch the whole episode. I got to be honest. I watched the monologue, and I watched maybe 5 to 10 minutes after that, where there was a skit about that Dave Chappelle was in about immigrant parents. That was interesting.
All right.
That was interesting. Um, you just got to watch it to understand why it was interesting. I won't get into that
Yeah,
though.
I was gonna say I didn't see it, so I can't chime in on that. I just watched the monologue and the Glow clips.
Yeah.
As far as Glow, I want to say like, yeah, I totally agree with you. I like that. Even her song selection, like she did two songs that probably are commercial records for her, and then she doing Let Her Cook is not is I think doing Let Her Cook is a testament to her ability to do what she wants to do right now and having flexibility, because Let Her Cook is not a single. Even though Let Her Cook is my shit, it's one of my favorites. I think it's just like I said, I think it's a testament to the fact that she has the flexibility to even perform three songs, right? Where you might have just got booked for two songs and been like, all right, thanks, that's a wrap. And yeah, she looked good. She looked comfortable up there. Um, high fived her homie, Pop. Clearly that was choreographed, but I thought that was funny. And yeah, even what you said with Dave, right? Like the most you're gonna get is like something that's a slow walk, like when he did the slow walk jerk off part of the comedy sketch. Like today, Dave Chappelle is not running from one side of the stage to the other side of the stage. So,
He's very
yeah, I
measured.
totally agree. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's a
Word.
that's a that's 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 not only I've been doing this particular thing for a long time. I feel like that's a age/maturity thing. Like you learn how to bring it
Yeah,
down, but
and
still be
everybody does,
yourself,
and
you know?
I also think it's a testament to his skill. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Hart is a physical comedian. He's gonna
Right.
slide across the stage and do funny stuff with his body. Like he's gonna do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chappelle is so good today. You don't need to do any of that shit.
No. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so even like the slow walk jerk thing,
Mm-hmm.
it stands out so much because it's something that is like an exclamation point, not the necessity he needs to lean on
Mm-hmm.
to do his sketch, you know what I mean, or to do his
Yeah.
stand up. I think it just speaks to how good of a writer he is
Mm-hmm.
today.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true.
You know. Let's stay with good news. So
Okay.
Tubi,
Uh-huh.
the free streaming app, which people love to joke about, will be showing the Super Bowl for free.
People like to joke
Um,
about Tubi, but Tubi been on the come up on the low.
right. I was gonna say you a little while ago said Tubi is making major moves and on the rise, and I think this is further testament to what you said.
Yeah.
A while back, we spoke about their program that they're doing with Issa Rae for young creators,
Mm-hmm.
or rather, new creators. And now we have this Super Bowl thing. And so I feel like, yo, you called it.
They also showed the inauguration the other day, which
Look at that.
is a big. Most of the streamers, the major streamers, did stream it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where it's like, um, uh, I don't know if there's an actual like law or anything about it, but it's free information, if you will, right? Like a presidential inauguration is something that everybody should have access to.
Mm-hmm.
So you expect like Hulu and places where live programming is available, you expect to see it in those places.
Right.
Hulu is usually my go-to for stuff like that, like because I always know that it's going to be there. But
Right.
I was really fascinated by the fact that Tubi was a part of this, and they also had it available on their app.
Right.
So I just feel like they're like, we don't know what y'all heard, but we are trying to get into the game with everybody else.
Word. Yeah. I mean, I think it's super fly. I think it's, as a person who does not have cable TV myself, the last time I watched the Super Bowl here with friends on this very couch, we had to download some other app, and luckily someone had the live TV version, and we were
Yeah.
able to watch the Super Bowl that way. And now it's like, man, here, free, not free. I was gonna say free 99, but that includes a 99 and just free.
Right.
So, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like there's all these, even when, to your point, even when some of these events are free to watch, you often have to jump through hoops to get to it. It'll be like, what's the one? I don't remember what I was trying to watch one day, and it said 7-day trial of Fubo, and I was like,
What's a
Fubo?
Fubo? Yeah.
To watch something
Is
that
that the
is,
Fubu? Is that the Fubu
I don't know,
streaming
but
app?
but my confusion was just like, this is something that's really common. It had to be like something like the Oscars or the Grammys, and I
All
was
right.
like, this is what?
That's funny.
So I think
Fubo.
it's
I gotta
cool
look
that
that up.
Tubi is is again playing in the same arena
Yep.
as the big streamers are.
I agree. It does say you will need a free account, but I'm sure that won't take long to make. But I guess it's worth saying since we're up here championing them. I don't want people to think you could just open the app and that's it. The press release did say that you will need an account and a strong enough Wi-Fi connection.
Right.
Yeah.
And free content is always going to have some hoops, if you will, right? They need to be able to track
Come on, got to be
people.
able to show the NFL, hey man,
This is
we
how
had
many people
we
tune
had
in.
this many viewers, right?
Right, exactly. And you also want retention, right? Like if you can get people to watch the free programming that you offer, you can probably get them to at least look at your catalog and see what you have, and maybe
Right.
they'll end up paying for something, or it's all a game. Like you gotta sometimes you gotta give in order to get.
Right.
So
I agree. And speaking of getting, Chris Brown is about to get that money.
you think so?
Well, let's first tell the people what's happening. And so a while ago, we were up here talking about an HBO documentary that was coming out.
Was it
called
HBO?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was A&E or something like that.
No, because that's where that's why he's suing Warner Brothers.
Oh, it might all be the same company now, actually.
Yeah, it is. Warner Brothers Discovery. And
Oh, okay.
HBO is
So,
under, yeah.
because I think when we talked about it, it was like based on the what did they call it? It was like an anti-violence initiative by A&E
I don't remember it being
or
A&E, but
ID.
yes. Maybe ID. There you
It
go.
was ID.
Anyway, so there was a documentary released called Chris Brown, A History of Violence. And yesterday, a press release came out, and Chris Brown's legal team announced that he is filing a defamation suit against Ample and Warner Brothers. The statement shares that before the release of the film, they were notified of the false and misleading narrative that accused Chris Brown of SA and witness tampering. Chris's legal team made it clear that the accusations were discredited in court and dismissed as baseless. Chris' attorney, Levy McCathern, said that this, quote, case is about protecting the truth. It was noted that a portion of the $500 million they are seeking will be donated to survivors of SA. And so I have a little bit of the document here. I took a screenshot for us. And so this is the release that was put out. It says basically the same thing. Their law firm is representing singer, songwriter, and rapper Chris Brown in a $500 million lawsuit.
Does it really say and rapper?
It does. It says, like, it's got their official, what's it called? Letterhead. Then it says release date, January 2021. January 21st, 2025. Sorry. It says for immediate release, bold letters. And then it also says in bold letters, Chris Brown files $500 million lawsuit against Ample LLC and Warner Brothers in response to a defamatory documentary. And then it says it says all the legal, people involved. And it says are representing singer dash songwriter and rapper Chris Brown in a $500 million lawsuit filed on January 21st in the Supreme Court of Los Angeles against Ample LLC and Warner Brothers, along with individuals responsible for producing Chris Brown, A History of Violence.
Interesting.
They say round up everybody. You know what I'm saying? Round them up. Round them up.
But let me ask you something.
Oh, go ahead. I want to read one paragraph here, but go ahead. You ask me first.
Maybe you should read your paragraph first.
All right. It says, despite being notified of false and misleading narrative accusing Mr. Brown of heinous acts, including SA and evidence tampering, allegations that had been discredited in court and dismissed as baseless, the defendants released the documentary on October 27th, 2024, without regard of Mr. Brown prioritizing profits over journalistic integrity. In doing so, no phone. I don't want to copy and paste anything. Thank you. In doing so,
you could join their band up there.
In doing so, they sensationalize debunked claims to drive viewership and revenue, recklessly damaging Mr. Brown's reputation and spreading false information to the public. To be clear, Mr. Brown has never been found at fault of any type of S-word crime. And so they even go as far as to tell the people, and this is where I think they messed up, who Jane Doe is in the doc. So in the doc, there's a woman who's named as Jane Doe. Yeah. They put her name right in the doc, right in their document press release here, and it says like her allegations are false and were discredited in court years ago. Bless you.
Thanks.
So yeah, they go in. There's more. Y'all can find it and read it. It's on the internet. But I thought reading at least that first paragraph was important.
Let me ask you something.
Ask me.
You think Chris Brown was sitting around last week and he was, I don't know, scrolling through doom scrolling on Instagram or somewhere, and he noticed that that the boy filed a defamation suit. You think that Chris saw that and said, you know what? Now, if this nigga could file a defamation suit, I for damn sure can file one.
I think his was in the works first, because this says that they notified HBO or whatever, the people involved in the doc were notified prior to the doc even coming out that these were false allegations.
I mean, I was being silly.
But I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. The doc came out a while ago.
Yeah, I figure since if you knew before October or in October, because it came out towards the end of October, if you knew prior, then you probably been getting your ducks in a row, gathering evidence, reaching out to different legal places.
And timing is everything.
To see what could you do. Probably also they wanted to let the full thing run before, like, because it was on the banner of the app. It was one of those kind of things. So
yeah,
they probably were watching and waiting to see how many weeks it was on that banner, so you could go in court and say, hey, look, this was on the front of the banner. This is as soon as you open the app, this is what you saw for, I don't know, 3 weeks, 8 weeks, 5 months, whatever. I mean, obviously not 5 months, but you get my point.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm going to say good for them. Fuck them. I said this when we found out the doc was coming out. I asked, at what point is this just an assault on black men with some of these docs that they're doing? And yeah, it's not all Warner Brothers specifically or ID specifically, but it's just like, yo, like, all right, do your doc, whatever. People are public figures. I get it. But at what point are we just ODing? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the line? And so I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad it's happening because it will probably give people pause to do these things in the future. Because, yeah, you could do a doc, but you can't just do whatever the hell you want and then promote it with all your billions of dollars and your huge conglomerate companies at the behest of, like, not the behest, but at the, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know the word at this moment, but while someone else is suffering. What you say?
At his expense.
At his expense. Thank you. Sometimes when you podcast, the words don't all come to your brain because you're doing it on the fly and unscripted. But yeah, it's like just doing this at people's expense, and people have families and loved ones and kids who are gonna see these things. And don't get me wrong, it's fine. I love docs. But let's have some integrity, like this thing says, right? And I said that months ago when we found out this doc was coming out. I was very upset. And so I feel like good for you. I hope he wins the 500 mil. And more so, I hope this gives these huge conglomerates pause when they fuck with black men like this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious if he'd win a suit like this, considering there have been a lot of accusations about him over the years, and
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder um, if that weakens his credibility in a suit like this.
Mm.
I don't know.
The
And
press release was saying, and this may answer your question, the press release was saying that most of the doc, it says that Jane Doe, who they name in the press release, they say was like the center of the doc.
Okay.
And they're saying that her allegations and claims were already dismissed in court years and years ago and disproven years and years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the doc. I'm only telling you what the press release said. In fact, when we spoke about it back in October, I said, I am not watching this. And I did not watch it.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, so I don't know exactly how it went. I do know that there was a Jane Doe in the doc and all of that, but honestly, the doc, people talked about it for like a couple days, and then that was it. People are not even talking about the Diddy doc that came out on Peacock. So I haven't really heard anybody say anything about it since it
Neither. I
came
know
out.
cats are waiting for that 50 Cent one.
Right, but I just feel like the 50 Cent one is going to be biased. So
Oh, absolutely.
I would rather watch someone else's doc where they have less of a stake in it, I guess.
I mean,
Um,
Peacock called their shit the making of a bad boy. So I don't know how unbiased it is, but I understand what you're saying.
well, 50 Cent hates Diddy. Is that not
No,
correct?
I'm with you. I'm saying that the name and of the Peacock doc and the trailer we saw paint a pretty specific narrative. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I don't know if they did that either. Is my point.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Because 50 absolutely has a bone to pick with Diddy. I totally agree. I just, based on the trailer we saw, I don't know. Let me say, I don't know. I don't know if Peacock did a good job of trying to show a balance thing here. I think they were also on some like, hey, look, this guy's foul, and let's show you how foul he been since the beginning of time.
Well, I guess I don't think that it's meant to be balanced. I'm not looking for it to be balanced. I think when a documentary is about a person assaulting people, it's not going to be balanced. Or if a documentary is about like someone that did a bad thing, it's probably not going to spend most of its time or half of its time even trying to show you how this person was also good. It's going to spend most of its time trying to further the narrative that this person is bad or there's turmoil around a situation or something like that. So I'm not necessarily expecting it to be balanced. Um, but I do think that I'm expecting 50 Cent to be more salacious.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Um, so I don't know. I haven't seen the Peacock doc yet. My plan is to watch it.
Okay.
It's probably the only thing that I didn't catch over the weekend. I watched Jerry Springer. I watched Chappelle. I watched, and that was the one thing where I was just kept putting it off. So I have not seen it yet,
It's all good.
but I do want to watch it because I just want to. Apparently, there's like a bombshell that gets dropped. That's why I'm surprised that people are not
Okay.
talking about it. But I also think that people are very much trying to distance themselves from this. There's a bit of, this will be the last thing I say, but there's a bit of, I don't like the word trauma because I feel like trauma gets overused. But
Okay.
there's a bit of where a lot of us are invested in these artists, these public figures, these people who somehow distantly impact our lives, right? So when we find out that they did something awful, terrible, we also have a reaction to it.
Right.
Right. And sometimes the way that people cope is distance. Um, I'm wondering if that's why. I'm wondering if people are like, don't want to deal with this right now. There's also a whole lot of other stuff going on in the world at this very moment.
Right.
Um, so it could be that as well. I don't want to downplay that either, but I just wonder if that's why. I thought this was going to have a lot more buzz. Um, and
Right, but wait, what do you
obviously,
think about this Chris Brown stuff? It kind of became a Diddy conversation.
sorry. um, well, like I said, I'm curious to see if this is something that goes to trial. I'm curious to see how this plays out, because is there has he lost his credibility over the years for something like this to stick?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if I'm ready to uh, roll with how you put it. Um, I just think that this is something I want to watch play out. I don't have a hope or a want in terms of an outcome, but I do think that I am curious to see where this goes, because I understand exactly why he's claiming defamation, but I'm also thinking to myself, if it is documented that you have been accused so many times of the same things over and over again, I wonder, does it even matter? I don't know how the law works in that way.
Gotcha.
So I'm just curious to see how it plays out. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Chris is an innocent person who is some angel and has never done anything. But I do think them coming out with a doc out of nowhere when he hasn't done anything recently
Mhm.
is kind of like a witch hunt. It's like he's been just minding his business and doing great things on tour, selling out arenas all over the world. Where did this come from? Why is this happening?
Mhm.
And so that was my frustration with this doc. Like, don't get me wrong, with Diddy, the onslaught of docs that are coming us because there's a current situation that has been unveiling itself in the last couple of months. But Chris been low, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I had such a strong reaction
Mhm.
in October. Excuse me. Such a strong reaction in October, and that's why I'm still like, yeah, fuck that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make that clear, so it's clear that I'm not just like, he is an angel. He's God's gift to the planet. He has never done anything wrong. No, not saying that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I
Because you
understand.
know they'll be in the comments like, what? Attack against a black man. That black man did blah, 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 blah,
Oh
blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
absolutely. Because no,
So I
I
gotta
mean,
say this. That way I can respond in the comments and be like, fast forward to this point when I say he's not innocent.
it's also different when you've seen, excuse me, when you see what a person has done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at how many people needed to see. I hate to go back to Diddy, but once
It's
they
okay.
saw the video,
All right.
the infamous video, it
Dave
was
Chappelle
like
said I kicked the woman in the head and forgot.
it was cemented for some people. Like, oh, this person is a really terrible person, right?
Right.
Um, I think it's kind of the same thing with Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
People can cry time. It's been a long time, but the reality is we saw her face. We
Mm-hmm.
saw what she looked like. We're probably not going to forget that we saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happens. Those things stay with you. If somebody says something egregious about you, it
Mm-hmm.
stays with you. Like, people remember it.
Yeah.
When you have physical proof of something, when you can see it, it's even more etched in your brain. You never really forget it.
Right.
So, for most of us, some people repress memories, whatever. But I think that's why 20 years later it comes up again. I think that's why. I think it's like one of those things. And don't get me wrong, it was low hanging fruit for the production company. Easily, right? Because they needed a face for their initiative. They needed someone popular and buzzy that they could, you know, he was easy sell. He's had multiple accusations over the years. They could build a story around him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it's one of those things. It's etched in your brain. I'll never forget. Like I could see it right now. What her face looked like.
Got you.
You know, and I think they know that. I think that the people who are creating television know that, and they're gonna ride with that because that is going to make the money ultimately.
Sure.
So I'm not saying it's right, but we just talked about ethics in television yesterday, so it's not always right. It just kind of is what it is.
No, I got you. I understand. Well, I guess that's it. Let's close out. Plenty more to talk about mañana. You know what I mean? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yeah. So this has been Weeknights. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you watching, listening, subscribing, commenting, liking, all of the things, as Dash likes to say. And we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.